Hello and happy Wednesday, everybody. Here's coming up tonight on a lot of talker stories to get to tonight. Yes. We're going to start with a student from USM who is pushing to get vending machines on campus that will dispense contraceptives, feminine hygiene products. Controversial. We want to hear what you have to say.
Plus, we want to know what you have to say about this. A high school student did not get his photo in the yearbook. Find out why.
Also, if you don't have a lot of time for lunch, there's a business that's going to help you speed up that get your lunch process.
This is News Center now.
I'm a hunter, so it's just a hunting shotgun. What's the big deal about it?
A Bonnie Eagle senior says it's not fair that his senior pictures are not allowed in the yearbook, but the principal says it's against the code of conduct. Plus,
you don't have to go to a pharmacy and potentially get judgmental looks from the pharmacist or from the cashier. You can just go to the vending machine.
Condoms, Plan B, and tampons all sold in a vending machine. One USM student is trying to make it happen, but there's an old state law that makes it illegal, at least for now. Hello, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Amanda Hill. The story from Bonnie Eagle a little bit later on. But first, a new CDC report found that STDs are on the rise in America, and doctors are searching for ways to get ahead of that growing threat.
Now, compared to other states, Maine is doing pretty well, but nationwide, more than 2 million people had chlamydia, gonorrhea, or syphilis in 2016. And of course, one way to prevent the spread of disease is to practice safe sex. A University of Southern Maine student wants to make contraceptives more easily accessible on campus through a vending machine.
Okay, so we want to hear your opinion as you watch this story. Vote right now on our Pulse poll. Should contraceptives be easily accessible on campus? You can go to pulse.newscentermaine.com to vote or open up the Pulse tab on our mobile apps.
When you stop at a vending machine on the campus of USM, at least one student wants you to have more choices than a snack or a drink. Emma Donnelly is a junior and working to have vending machines that offer contraceptives and feminine hygiene products offered. Now, you can get some of those things from health services, but that's not always convenient.
We only have health services on the Gorham campus, and they're only open Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. So if you find yourself in a situation Friday night, you shouldn't have to wait until Monday to get an affordable emergency contraception.
Emma says she has the support of the school's administration, but there is one tiny obstacle to overcome. Her idea is currently illegal in Maine, so she's going to need some help.
I think it's an excellent idea.
Enter Mo Terry. She is a state representative from Gorham who met with Emma to hear her idea and is on board. The law in question was written back in 1963 and was intended to ban traveling medicine shows with their snake oil salesmen from selling medicine through vending machines. Representative Terry says that law is now antiquated, and since things like aspirin and ibuprofen are sold in vending machines, it's time to, at the very least, amend the law.
The easier it is for especially a young woman to get what she needs in a uninhibited environment, I think it's a great thing.
There are a handful of colleges across the country that already have these types of vending machines. Emma says a survey of 236 students was taken, and almost 90% of those people said that these machines would be a benefit to USM. And the vending machines would not just provide the various products.
We would leave information at the vending machine so people aren't taking something that they're not ready to take, or at least know the side effects and the implications of it.
Representative Terry, with Emma Donnelly right by her side, plans to begin the conversation about changing that 1936 law when the next legislative session begins.
More and more women are coming forward to talk about their experience with sexual misconduct as part of that hashtag #MeToo movement.
Yeah, so this morning, gold medalist Michaela Maroney from the Olympics posted a heartbreaking account on social media saying that she was one of the athletes molested by a U.S. gymnastics team doctor. She says that the abuse started when she was just 13 years old and, quote, "It seemed whenever and wherever this man could find the chance, I was, quote, treated. It happened in London before my team and I won the gold medal, and it happened before I won my silver medal."
Yeah, Michaela is a member of the Fab Five competing in the Olympic Games in 2012. She says the abuse continued until she retired from gymnastics. The doctor, Larry Nassar, is currently in jail awaiting trial. He faces 22 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Last night, less than 10 minutes into his first game as a Boston Celtic, Gordon Hayward suffered a devastating injury.
Yeah, I actually didn't watch it.
Oh, I did.
But I heard about what happened, and I don't want to see it. If you don't want to see it, we're going to help with that, I think, a little bit here. But lots of you are sending well wishes to the Hayward family and to he himself, and his fellow players are offering their support throughout the NBA as well.
Yeah, okay, so we're about to show you the clip. It's been blurred because the images are graphic, but you've been warned.
Probably hit the biggest shot in Cavs history. They're going up. Oh, my goodness. Hayward came down so hard. Okay, Hayward broke his leg.
Okay, about halfway through the first quarter, Hayward went inside, jumped and landed awkwardly on his foot, breaking his ankle. He was carried off the court in a stretcher and flown directly home to Boston. Both teams visibly disturbed by the injury. The entire Cavaliers bench turned and looked away, but today the sports world is rallying behind him.
Yeah, his teammates are rooting for his recovery. Daniel Theis and Kyrie Irving both sharing messages on Instagram or Twitter. Kobe Bryant wrote a heartfelt message about what it's like to come back from an injury. He says once you're back on the court, you can really appreciate the game.
Not everyone getting love on social media today. A Fox Sports host waited only a few minutes after the injury to talk about the Celtics' upcoming season and how this affects LeBron's chances of winning a championship. Athletes and fans were not pleased. Rudy Gay of the Spurs called the tweet heartless. Others replied with more colorful language that we cannot put on TV.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think that it's a career-ending injury for him?
I mean, he's in his low 20s, so you know, if he was my age, yeah, he'd be done. But I mean, it was awful, and it's, you know, but people have come back from that. Will he be the same level he was when the Celtics, you know, spent so much money and time to go get him? You know, we'll find out. But he is young enough and resilient. So
that's a tough injury to take, though, when it's just a few minutes into that.
And he was like this big free agent that everybody wanted, and the Celtics finally got him, and it was all this, you know, hoopla about him getting there, and he's in his first game, and and that happens.
Yeah, tough one. All right, still to come on now. This boy was worried about the president when he heard Donald Trump would not be taking a salary.
Well, how is he going to eat or drink? Or, you know, pay if he needs to pay for his water bill or anything.
Right. He sent the president his savings and got a letter back from the White House.
Also tonight, a Bonnie Eagle senior says he couldn't use this photo for the yearbook because there was a hunting rifle in his picture. Why he says that is not fair. Coming up.
Remember taking your high school yearbook photo? It's a struggle as a kid and as a parent.
Oh, I remember it well. Many moms and dads want their kids obviously to look really nice in their picture. Kids just want to do what they do and express themselves.
Right.
So there's a yearbook photo that's creating a little bit of controversy.
Yeah, Chris Costa joins us now. And Chris, the photo isn't anything people haven't seen before.
No, Lena, Amanda, if you live in Maine, it's not. Hunting is a popular activity here, and one high school senior says that's his identity. But he says his school is stripping him of it.
The fall foliage makes a beautiful background for high school senior portraits.
Why was that such a big deal?
But Wade Jelinas says the focus of his senior photo is not allowed in the yearbook, and he's upset.
Why should I be forced to just agree to this and let it be?
The picture he submitted shows him holding one of his hunting guns, an activity he's done for 8 years.
It's just my sport. It's just what I do. I don't play football. I don't play basketball. I don't do nothing. I just hunt.
This is one I use in studio.
Photographer Kelly Roy says the guns did not bother her.
It's their interest, not mine.
But told Wade she had a feeling the photo wouldn't fly.
That I figured there would be no way they'd let him put it in the yearbook.
They didn't. And Bonnie Eagle's principal says the student code of conduct explains why.
Drugs, alcohol, weapons, tobacco are not allowed at school, and you can't wear clothing that has pictures of weapons on it.
She says students have tried to use photos in the past that have them holding weapons, and the school has always said no.
We just want to draw the line at weapons of any kind being in the picture, and that way it doesn't get into a place where we're trying to pass judgment on which ones are promoting violence and which ones aren't.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it has nothing to do with what I like.
Wade plans to submit a different photo, but hopes his stand sparks change in the policy.
Everybody can take a picture with their football and take a picture with their lacrosse stick and and I'm a hunter, and I can't take one with my hunting gun.
Now, Wade's mom says she's not surprised by the school's decision, but she says she's proud of her son for standing up for what he believes in. Lee and Amanda.
Yeah, and honestly, as a parent, that's the first thing I look at as a good for him. I mean, you know, instead of just taking, you know, the answer and saying, oh, well, you know, it's just speaking out. Whether you win or not isn't really the point. The fact, standing up for your convictions, what you believe in, and I'm good for him to stand up for it.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, like you said too, though, it's nice to see that the school is at least consistent about having a policy.
If you're going to be consistent about it, then yeah,
right.
It is what it is. He got a good picture. He maybe can't put it in the yearbook, but
and he got on TV.
That could
if
be
he had a regular senior picture,
That's true.
we wouldn't even have this story.
If he's single, he can.
That's the best senior picture of all time. He just got on television.
Whatever works. That's true.
Right.
All right. Hey, nice today. 70. I was at the beach again today. Just not like at the beach, like to go in the water, but you know what I'm saying. It's Reese's.
Which way is the beach, Keith?
Yeah, Reese's was at the beach with me today. Dog season there. 70 degrees officially in Portland, 68 in Rockland. Temperatures, of course, falling, but not that quickly. We're still in the mid and upper 60s in a lot of spots. Clear skies, not even close to any cloud cover. Look at this satellite. It's ridiculous. There's nothing across all of the Northeast, and that'll be the case through much of the day tomorrow as well. Another bright day tomorrow, believe it or not. Warmer tomorrow than it was today, not by a ton, but probably 2 or 3 degrees, so we'll be around 72, 73 across much of the region. A little cold front will come through Thursday night with a few clouds, make us drop a few degrees down to the mid 60s on Friday, and then the weekend forecast is as easy as it gets. Mega ridge here for Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, protecting us with a lot of sunshine and keeping temperatures on either side of 70 degrees, upper 60s to say 71 or 72, depending on your location. Hour by hour forecast, not going to be too exciting for you because there isn't much going on. Again, tomorrow is even warmer. We'll see more 70s tomorrow afternoon. Here comes that front. Could see an isolated shower in the mountains tomorrow night. Most of us, though, don't even know a front has gone through. It comes through by Friday morning. Friday's in the mid 60s for highs, which, by the way, is still above average by quite a bit for this time of the year, but it's all relative, of course. This is rain through the next Monday. This is all the way through the weekend until Monday afternoon. Nothing except for Aroostook County maybe getting 0.03. We're still on track, #1 in Portland and Bangor for the warmest October on record, which we talked about the correlation possibly with winter yesterday. Weekend looks great. Monday looks good. We start to get some rain probably Tuesday afternoon and into Wednesday, but we're ripping off quite a few nice days. Indications are we may cool down for the last 3 or so days of October, but that should still have us in the top 3.
Shockingly rain.
And weekends are always nice, and apple picking, everybody's happy.
It's been really good. Yeah.
All right, we'll take it while we can. Thanks.
Thanks, sir.
All right, just a few minutes left to vote in our Pulse poll. Should contraceptives be easily accessible on college campuses?
Go to pulse.newscentermaine.com to vote or open up the Pulse tab on your mobile app. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we'll induct a new member into the varsity club. This week, we'll head to Yarmouth High School to meet up with senior scholar athlete Luke Grudhoff. If you know someone who would make a good varsity club candidate, have a teacher or a coach or a school administrator, send an email to varsityclub@wcsh6.com or varsityclub@wlbz2.com. At the end of the year, one boy and one girl will get a $2,500 scholarship in memory of Bruce Glazier, who pioneered this feature decades ago.
All right, Pat Callahan joins us with a look at what's coming up at 5:30. Hey, Pat.
Hi, Amanda and Lee. You've no doubt seen the signs promising more money for education, for tax relief, for veterans benefits. What those signs don't tell you is that you're being asked to okay a new casino that would generate those benefits. News Center's Don Carrigan will show us why a state government oversight committee is looking at Question 1 and the people behind it. And one of Maine's Pearl Harbor veterans had a health scare recently, but he tells us he's feeling well enough to share his opinion on the recent national anthem protests by NFL players. Those stories and much more coming up on News Center at 5:30.
All right, PC, thank you very much. Okay, can never get enough seals. So 2 seals rescued off the coast of Maine were reintroduced into the wild yesterday, which is heartwarming, and I love to see seals in the water, but listen to their names.
I love this so much. Jaceel Bunchen, named after the supermodel, of course, and Leonardo DiCaprio, named after the actor, were set free on Cape Cod yesterday by the National Marine Life Center. Jaceel was abandoned by her mother on Chebeague Island, and C. Leonardo was found on Great Spruce Head Island. We can, look at them go. We cannot get enough of those.
No.
Those seal videos.
We need more.
Super sweet, and love their names, obviously.
Okay, News Center Now continues after the break. All right, if you like to eat out but you do not feel like cooking, which is kind of like me, this is for you. This is Social Stop a la carte, if you will, because your one-stop shop for takeout or delivery has now made its way to Facebook.
Yes, the social media giant has a new feature where you can choose from different services like DoorDash and Delivery.com to order food and have it delivered to your door. Just go to the Explore menu and select Order Food and browse nearby restaurants. Super handy.
I mean, I'm on board for anything that gets me food without having to do any work.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's win-win.
Completely
right?
agree.
There's just too much going on Facebook right now, though, don't you think?
There's a
lot.
lot.
There's just too many buttons. I don't know what's going on anymore.
This is very old man of you to say that.
And I don't see that many posts from my friends anymore. I feel like it's just all like.
Maybe they've all.
Is this like a grumpy old man?
I don't have that many friends.
Maybe
it's
they've
probably,
unfriended you and you
it's
just don't
probably
know
the
it.
big. That's true. Are we gonna do brain drops? I think we're gonna do brain drops.
Let's do it.
I was mentioning before that I was at the beach. I noticed something really interesting at Crescent Beach today, and I took a video of it. We talked about chemtrails, which are not a thing, and contrails before, right? So I shot this video. See that plane on the lower altitude and then the one on the top? One's putting down a contrail and the other isn't. Can we run that one again, guys?
Oh,
See
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is one of the big problems people have and one of the reasons they think chemtrails exist, right? Because they think some planes are putting out some chemical and others aren't. And this is a perfect example to see it because there's actually two in the background. You can see they're putting up contrails. Now, what do you think the differentiating factor might be?
Isn't it like the different atmosphere levels?
It's the altitude, right. So you look at those planes, those are probably around 35,000 feet or so. The other plane is under 5,000 feet. And you also notice contrails on a day like today, which is stable and dry. Notice the contrails are going away at the end. Yeah. Whereas some days, you see them sit in the atmosphere, right? And they stay there and you don't see the plane anymore. That's because it's dry aloft on a day like today, right? We didn't have any clouds. So those contrails are being produced, but they're evaporating very quickly. Meanwhile, that plane at the lower altitude there, the vapor it's putting out into the atmosphere is not that much warmer than the surrounding air at that level. So that's what's creating that condensation, that mini cloud that you see as a contrail. That's why those lower ones, in that case, aren't producing any contrails, and the higher ones are. But it just struck me when I was out there that that's kind of one of those things I hear from chemtrail people.
Well, you see it all the time too.
Yeah.
Like there is no plane, but you still see the white trails, in the sky, and they sit there.
And that's usually when it's more moist in the atmosphere and there's not much wind up there. So they will sit there as a mini cloud, basically. But a day like today, like I said, it's so dry, you can see the atmosphere doesn't want to have clouds. That's why they're evaporating like that. So I know, look, if you're a chemtrail person, I'm probably never going to convince you because it's a conspiracy theory in its own heart. But I try to hit you with science and see what happens. All right, we're going to do some more weather?
Let's do some more weather.
Well, with
so
weather
nice.
like this, we should just always do this.
It's gonna be real nice. Yeah, the weekend looks fantastic. I told Cindy a couple days ago that it's one of the few times I gave a bride a forecast 7 days ahead of time and felt good about it. I don't like to mess with that. I do not like to mess with that, but that's how it looks. Around 70 degrees Saturday and Sunday. The pattern does devolve a bit on Tuesday night and Wednesday. One final note, guys, we talked about the correlation to warm Octobers and snowy winters, and I'm working even more on this right now. I'm trying to dig as deep as possible to see if it's just a correlation, a lucky one, or there's actually something there. So we might have another segment on that. I got a friend down in Boston working with me on it to see if we can figure out why that would happen and if it's really a causation or it's just one of those, like, thin people wear skinny jeans, but skinny jeans don't make people thin, right? Like, so it's
what would be interesting is to look back in April and look back and go, okay, remember we talked about this in October,
right?
And here's what actually happened.
Oh, well, 5 months from now we should have a good idea, but I'd like to know before we get there, if possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean forecast? I get it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Really quickly, we should mention the results of our pulse. 87% of you say yes, contraceptives should be easily accessible on campus. Thanks so much for weighing in.
Yeah, thanks for all your comments today. News Center 530 begins right now.